We're in the mushroom lab here. I'm going to go ahead and inoculate from this autoclave 3 of the dirt bags that I mixed up yesterday. I just call it dirt. It's the substrate. And I'm going to show you around the lab here. This is real world, right? I'm just a guy here trying to struggle through a business. So I haven't polished anything up. I haven't cleaned anything. And you're just going to see real world. All right, as you can see, the lab, it's a bit of a mess. But, you know, again, this is just real world. And that's just, you know, it's just part of it. We're going to get into this autoclave in just a minute. I'm going to clean this up a little bit, and you're just going to see how quickly this takes. And the purpose of my channel is just to show you guys I'm just trying to run and start a business. This is real time that these things are happening, and if you follow the progression of videos, it kind of shows my journey, and it's pretty fun. Mushrooms is really tough. I have a guy coming in Friday that hopefully we can have him take over this project. Basically what I'm offering him is 20% of the business in exchange for sweat equity. So what that means is he's not going to get a salary up front or for the, you know, a little bit, but he's going to earn 20% of the business. I'm about $10,000 or $15,000 into investment in this business, whether it's equipment, advertisement, literature, things like that. So in theory, 20% of that would be his if we liquidated or sold. So that I kind of preach on, I talk like money isn't real. I use that phrase a lot. And that's kind of what's happening here, right? Obviously I've spent real money on stuff like this. And, but I'm asking somebody to come in, work for free for 20%. And so basically I am getting, the business is running without my presence because I gave up equity, and you can use, there's lots of tricks in that same category. So what I'm first going to do is just glove up here. I'm going to wipe down our station. I'm worried, so this is a 0.2 micron flow hood. I'm going to turn it on now, and if the audio isn't too bad, I guess you'll see this video. If you don't, then you'd never have. But the fan's a little bit noisy and audio is tough sometimes. So I'm going to turn that on. So basically what this is doing, the laminar flow hood, if I'm saying that right, is where a normal fan has turbulence. The air kind of like comes out all sporadic. What this does is the air comes out in perfect waves. So it's a straight wave. So not only am I going to let this run just a few minutes, and I just turned it on, you'll see how long I run it. It's going to clean the air in here. This is a fully sealed room that if a contaminant is floating down here, it's going to hit the perfect straight line and come out. If this were just a regular fan, it would hit and potentially, like, you know, do this. Right, so when I'm working here, I'm kind of in a bit of a force field that protects me. I'm not invincible, but I'm in a bit of a force field. So we have alcohol here, 70% isopropyl alcohol. I just get this, I got this at CVS, Walmart, it doesn't matter. This is nothing special. This is how I'm going to kill any contaminant in the room. The shop here is very dirty. So let me grab my bag, we're going to inoculate. My Lionsmane bag here, let me make sure you guys can see that. Yeah. So this is fully colonized out. We've taken a good look. I don't see any contaminant. We have a couple of black things there. That's just black grain. So this looks really healthy. Behind me, if you watch some of my other videos, you'll see how I do these. But this is oat, and I soak it, and I make it, and I have some other videos on how to do that. And just don't overthink this step. It's as long as you're clean, you can do this so many ways, and I think I found such an easy way to make this. Too many people boil this crap, and they're like, they boil it, and then rest it, and then cool it, and it just, I mean, just don't overthink it. People think you need to be complicated with mushrooms or really anything, and it's not that deep, you know? So basically what I'm doing here is I'm breaking, this is oats, just feed for horses. I'm breaking it up so it's individual pieces. I'm not opening the bag yet. So I haven't sprayed anything yet because I haven't opened this bag. So I haven't I'm not introducing any contaminant. So this aggressive breakup kind of needs to happen before I open the bag. Because when I pour this, I want it to come out in individual seeds. And interesting, right? Look at that now. I just broke that up and it almost looks like there's no mycelium in it. Pretty interesting, right? I go into more in depth about this in other videos. But we're breaking it up so now it's all loose. So what I'm going to do next is just spray this area down. Spray my sealer down, get my hands going. So alcohol just roughly needs about 30 seconds to do its thing. I'm going to spray my bag down. And I'm going to respray every so often as needed. So next I'm going to spray this sucker down, just the top, nothing overthinking it. I haven't had contaminant in here in over a year, seriously, not one single contaminated bag. And I feel that, just don't overthink it, just don't overthink it. So we're going to release the pressure. This was yesterday. I like to open it side like this, across. What I'm going to do also, just in case there's pressure, I go ahead and unscrew these first so these are still connected. That if there was pressure in there, because sometimes I do this an hour or so after it's done cooking, if there was pressure, it would pop so this is still pinned down and the pressure would go that way potentially. I'm not saying that if it was that situation, it might just blow up anyway, but that's what I do. Now I feel comfortable, I'm going to go ahead and do this. I use a screwdriver. This thing sticks a little bit, so I kind of put this under here, pop it. Get just some more sprays. Get my hands going. Now here generally, I mean it's best practice, but I've made so many videos and I talk throughout the whole thing, so what do I know? But I generally try not to talk when I'm in here alone, just because I'm spitting. And this is not that strong of a flow, so I'm sure if I really spit hard, it would just go through the flow hood. But we'll talk through it. So just lift this up. I like to set them down like this so the tab is up. Sure to pierce the bag. So these are a little bit warm still. I think they're okay. I've inoculated up to, almost 90 degrees, and I didn't notice any problem. So I think in a perfect world, I would have let these cool a little longer, but we're not going to do that. And my guess, I mean, we're all just learning from, again, this is just me learning what to do. I don't know what to do. So I like to spray the tops because the bag is fully sealed, so I'm protected there, but the only vulnerable part the opening of the bag, which I can see. So I've sprayed it. We're giving it some time to settle and kill those germs, if any are on there. And these are really thick. I let this cook for 4 hours in the autoclave, which is a long time. But it was just so dense in there that I really wanted the heat to penetrate to the middle. So that's why I did it that long. Okay, so our bag here. What I like to do, I don't want to introduce scissors or anything, because again, that's more things I have to clean. So I've already cleaned this in here. Let's give it another spray. And I'm going to open it kind of like a milk jug. So I'm going to take it and I'm just going to rip it open like that. See a bit of a triangle there. I'm going to leave that in the flow hood. I'm going to turn my... So keep that always facing the flow hood. That's the opening of the bag. so it's facing this way. Get my finger in the gussets here, open the bag, and again, I want to keep the opening towards the flow hood as best I can so I don't accidentally get contaminated. Keep messing, I'm standing back just so I'm talking. Just keep messing with it till the bag stays open. You can put up to just, you could in theory put one single piece of this grain in there and it would inoculate out, or grow out. But I put, at minimum, I put a half a pound. This is a 3.5 pound bag roughly. So minimum I'll put half, but I only have 3 bags here, so I'll put a third of it in. The more of this you put in, the faster this will grow. Keep that in the flow hood. Now here what I do is I don't mess with the gussets as much. And I try not to put my hand in the bag, just in case. So I just do it straight like that. I'll leave it on the table. So once I'm under the clamper thing, I'm going to go ahead and get air in there. So it kind of fills with air a little bit, and then I'm going to clamp it. These are pretty easy. You clamp it, you wait until you hear the click, that means the heating element is off, and then I continue to hold so that molten plastic then re-solidifies into not melted plastic. Then what I do to check my seal is I'm going to take the air and kind of do this. My holding, see the air bubble? My holding, it's good to go. It's paranoid, it wasn't recording. So I'm going to do the other two. Make sure you still can see. These are just bags. You don't want to set them next to sharp things. I don't use the autoclave for substrate very much. I use that big barrel I have built, so they keep their nice square shape and that better, but I kind of force them and shove them in there. So again, these bags cost me about $2.50 to produce. The grain, I haven't worked that math out in a minute, or I forgot about it. This bag of grain, just roughly guessing, so it's about 50 cents for the bag. The grain, it's about $30 for the 50 pound. I don't know what the math is, maybe $1.50 for the grain. And I can do up to 10 bags of this grain. If I had 10 of these bags, I could do 10 for seven bags. Here, checking the air, it's good. So I can make this last longer. And again, in theory, I could put one single grain in there and still produce the product. It would just take a lot longer. I didn't want to get my finger. Woo. So I'm going to take that, throw it on the ground. Because it was on this side, I didn't want to contaminate by putting it in. I could sweep the ground real easily. What I like about my channel is this is real world stuff. I'm fairly successful. I do pretty good. And you just see, I just look like an idiot just now. And that's what this is about. We're just all humans in this fight together. And I haven't polished anything up. You're not seeing like the Instagram perfect, like look at me, I'm a slob right now. And or you get on Instagram and everybody's perfect, or some YouTube videos and everybody's like, looks like they're the most perfect business person ever. It's not the case, everybody's a mimic. So to mix these, what I do is let me move it. I take this and I push it down, and kind of shake it, so the dirt goes up. but the grain doesn't move. And then I flip it over, and you guys see the grain? So I'm going to try to get some grain down here. So that way I kind of have grain everywhere. And then I'm going to rotate it like this. You want a decent mix here. Okay. This is Lionsmane. Push it down. That is Lionsmane. You let these grow out for 2 weeks. So it'll sit in here for 14 days before I put it in the tent. And then in the tent, it needs another 2 weeks to produce a mushroom. So in 4 weeks, we will have mushrooms from this. A big reason I put the air in the bag is so it mixes really easy. Because this is a breathable, this is a 0.2 patch here, and it'll breathe and give itself oxygen as needed. But geez, if you do any of this, if you ever do mushrooms and you don't put air in the bag, you'll know instantly what I'm talking about. You'll be like, oh, he was right, I should have listened. You got to create systems for yourself. You got to have a plan and make systems, and then you follow the systems. And then once the system's implemented, you don't steer from the system unless you want to. Like if you make a system and you don't like it, change it. But if you make a system and it works, if it's easy, fast, works, makes sense, I mean all these things, then you make a system, write it down. I have videos on how to write a system, and then you just follow the system. And then you're successful. You have to build things so you yourself can't even escape it. So like, you get sleepy, right? This isn't a system, but it's just a metaphor kind of. You get sleepy, you only can fight it for so long until you go to sleep. That's, a system, right? You get sleepy and you fall asleep. So if I make a system that every Monday, today isn't Monday because of the holiday threw me off a bit, every Monday I do this, and I have thought through all the things and it works, it makes sense, it works with the schedule, everything makes sense about it, then you do it that same day. Just got interrupted, just somebody came through, had to take care of that. So anyway, the point is just make systems that you can't escape, and that's just how you foolproof yourself. Everybody talks about, I need motivation and things like that, and sure, motivation is very real, and I have quite a bit of it, but it's if you create ways that you can't get out of, like you set a date and you set a situation and you just do it. You hold yourself accountable for that. And that's how you become successful, a little at a time. I'm going to print some labels up here. We'll flip those up and call it a video. Print these labels here. And I just put what species it is and then the date. And this is so I know how long it's been in here and what date to put it out there. We have it pretty much down that Lionsmane in here needs 14 days. And then out there needs 14 days. I am super behind here, and so what I do is I just put these here, and I haven't actually made any of this in over a month. And just because I've been real busy, I've been in Colorado, so I kind of overproduced one time, and so that's what this is. We have a little bit of Lionsmane in here. This one will go in next week, but it's so overgrown. You can see the Lionsmane coming through. This probably will throw away. Little oyster. We really don't have any more Lionsmane here, but that's why I'm producing, because I just don't want to run out. I really don't want this business to die if I don't have to let it do that. because I put so much energy into it, and I have a path to not let it die. So if I can explore that path, that's what I want to do. So keep watching, guys. This is just my battle of starting, running businesses, making extra money, and real world stuff. This isn't all polished and fine-tuned. You know, I'm just like you.